Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Tonight channel. Bill Haney, the father, coach and business manager of the WBC lightweight title holder Devin Haney, say that they are ready to fight the absolute champion in their division, George Kambosos, for less than Vasily Lomachenko will receive. According to the latest data, it is which the Ukrainian that the Australian boxer's team is negotiating. It is known that Lomachenko made certain concessions for the sake of this fight, including agreeing to a modest fee. However, Haney said that he is ready to pay Kambosos out of his own pocket, if only he would fight with his son. Listen, Devin Haney will take less than Vasily Lomachenko. In all aspects, we will agree to less than Lomachenko will receive. We will make this deal, and I will give Kambosos the money myself. I will pay, and it's not about a small amount. I'm Bill Haney, I represent Devin Haney Promotions. I say on behalf of all of us that we will pay more, Bill Haney said. Undefeated lightweight prospect Ryan Garcia said that he has nothing against the fight of the absolute champion of his division George Kambosos against Vasily Lomachenko. However, he believes that his fight with the Australian would be more interesting for fans. We will see how big our fight with Kambosos will be when it is officially announced. Before the announcement, we won't know how big it can be. Kambosos' duel with Lomachenko? They can do it. Boxing fans will thoroughly watch this fight, but if they want to attract a huge audience, create a lot of hype around the fight, make a name for themselves, if they look to the future, then they should fight with me, Ryan Garcia said. We will remind, early it became known that Lomachenko accepted all the conditions of the Kambosos team, including the option of a rematch. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 100 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. The absolute lightweight world champion George Kambosos assured that in the near future he does not plan to fight with undefeated division competitor Ryan Garcia. The promoter of the star American Oscar de la Hoya turned to Kambosos and said that a fight with his word was the best option for him, but the Australian boxer said that he was not thinking about this fight yet. The best option for George Kambosos to make the most money is Ryan Garcia, De La Hoya wrote on his Twitter page. Oscar, you are a legend. I'm your big fan, friend. I'm busy in 2022 defending in beautiful Australia against the best of the best. But if Ryan can win several victories over famous rivals and deserve the fight, then there is no problem at all. Come to Australia, my guests, and watch my next mega fight at the stadium, Kambosos replied. Kelvin Ford, the coach of American Gervonta Davis, said that his word wants a fight with the former world champion in three weight categories, Ukrainian Vasily Lomachenko. According to the coach's owls, at one time they offered Lomachenko a fight, but the Ukrainian refused. We are waiting for the fight with Lomachenko. It will be a chess match. I don't know if the scrap will risk meeting with a tank, but to tell the truth, it's a mega fight. This is a duel that people have been waiting for a long time. Of course, you may ask why we have to fight Lomachenko. When we wanted to fight him, he didn't want to. He didn't even mention Davis' name. You can review the records. We wanted to fight Lomachenko. But they didn't let us do it. And he kept asking who the tank was, the coach said. It is assumed that Lomachenko will hold his next fight against the absolute lightweight world champion, Australian George Kambosos. Former world champion in three weight categories Jorge Linares shared his opinion about a potential duel between Vasily Lomachenko and George Kambosos. I think that the best fight for Kambosos would be a duel with Haney, because Lomachenko is now having a rollback in his career. On the other hand, Lomachenko is coming back. His return was quite flawless. and it is clear that he is in great shape. But even so, if Kambosos takes the fight with Lomachenko, it will be quite a risky fight. In the world of boxing, it's mostly money that decides everything now. I don't know how everything will turn out in the end, but the fight will be interesting in any case. Both for Haney, for Loma and for Kambosos. For me, all the three boxers are very capable. They box intelligently and intelligently. These are the tops in our weight. Jorge Linares said. Lomachenko versus Kambosos is the perfect match for everyone. George will get a lot of money and Vasily will return to the top of the best boxers again. It seems that Vasily Lomachenko will get the opportunity to return the championship belts in the summer, plus the one owned by Teofimo Lopez. He was intentionally defeated by George Kambosos in November, creating the main upset of the year. The Australian was known as a good middleweight boxer, but George jumped over his head, dragging the lightweight king into power boxing and deservedly won. He could have easily chosen a passing opponent in the status of one of the strongest fighters of the division, but to his surprise he turned his eyes to two lightweight leaders, Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. Negotiations with the Ukrainian team are much more fruitful than with the American. Lomachenko agreed to all the conditions of the champion, and that's right, Vasily is too good against the background of Kambosos. The choice of Kambosos' promoter is not surprising. Lomachenko has much more recognition, and the promoter Haney could not meet the financial needs of the champion. It was obvious that Kambosos, even though he performed incredibly in a duel against Teofimo Lopez, is a temporary value, and the lightweight division is now so studded with stars that the task for his promoters is as simple as possible: to sell his client as profitably as possible. Right now, there are two candidates for George: a big fight in Australia with Vasily Lomachenko, or a fight with the title of the absolute lightweight world champion against WBC champion Devin Haney. In the next fight, I will fight either Devin Haney or Vasily Lomachenko in Australia. That's the end of it. This is first-hand. Kambosos said in a recent interview. The champion himself didn't hide that he was much more interested in the fight with Lomachenko, addressing him directly on Twitter. "Hey, Vasily Lomachenko, tell Bob Arum to make a serious offer to my promoter Lou DiBella. I'm waiting." "Hey champ, we made you the best offer. We are waiting for your decision," Vasily replied. There was only one downside to the fight with Haney, but it was very significant. He is little known even in the USA, not to mention Australia, despite the fact that his skills are beyond top. This is not the best option from a business point of view, and for George, money is a priority issue. Moreover, Kambosos' numerous attacks to Devin pointed out just that. George attended Haney's last fight against Joseph Diaz on December 4th in Las Vegas and was disappointed with the marketing side of the issue. His own translator, Streaming Dozen, won't support him because he doesn't bring subscriptions. This is the cold, cruel truth. This poor guy really sold 500 tickets for his last fight. I was there, and it was a duel in his hometown. I gathered more viewers during my professional debut. This is a harshly reality. It also became known that Eddie Hearn, Haney's promoter, offered Kambosos such an unprofitable contract for the fight that even the most tactful Lou DiBella called him shameful. Lomachenko is a completely different matter, both in terms of recognition and financial conditions, that representative of the Ukrainian received. In addition, ESPN, which broadcasts Vasily's fights, will show the fight in pay-per-view mode, which is much more profitable for the Australian himself than a fixed streaming rate. In general, Lomachenko for Kambosos is the only option that embodies public and financial interest. In addition, the WBO has officially declared Vasily a contender for the title, so George simply has no alternative. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.